The whole thing is that this world is a world of higher forces, and people must realize it. And you do it by yourself, in your home, by knowledge of your culture, or your background, of your family, or your people. It's not through Christianity or Muslim. They're deceiving the people. Music is a spiritual thing. You don't play with music. If you play with music, you will die young. You see, because when the higher forces give you a gift of music, musicianship, it must be well used for the good of humanity. If you use it for your own self by deceiving people or doing this, you will die young.
We economic hitmen worked in many different ways, but probably the most typical way was that we would identify a country, like a third world country, that had resources that our corporations want, such as oil. And then we would arrange a huge loan to that country from an organization like the World Bank. But most of the money would go directly to some U.S. construction company or other contractor, such as a Bechtel or a Halliburton. And those companies then would build huge infrastructure projects in this third world country, like power plants, industrial parks, ports. When Charles T. Main had a contract with the government, my job was to inflate the need as high as I could, make the loan as big as I could, and this was, in essence, a policy. But the whole country would be stuck holding a huge debt, a debt so large that it couldn't possibly repay it. So at some point, we economic hitmen would go back to that country and say, look, you can't repay your loan, so do us a favor. Vote with us on the next critical United Nations vote, or send troops in support of ours to someplace in the world like Iraq, or, most importantly, sell your oil to us real cheap, or your labor pool, or some other resource that we want.
Thomas Jefferson and these persons knew that to see the central bank of the country go out of the grasp of the legitimate government of the people would be worse than facing standing armies. Because when you face a standing army, you face an enemy that you can see. Yeah. Yes, sir. But when somebody is controlling your finances and got power to deflate the money, inflate the money, got power to create a downturn or an upswing, at their whim, send the stock market up or down, increase interest or decrease it, and you can't say nothing, then power is not in your hands. So to give you the right to vote for somebody that is not the real power is a hypocrisy, is a deception, is satanic.
See, we have been brainwashed. Everything good and of authority was made white. We look at Jesus, we see a white with blonde hair and blue eyes. We look at all the angels, we see white with blonde hair and blue eyes. Now I'm sure if there's a heaven in the sky and the colored folks die and go to heaven, where are the colored angels? They must be in the kitchen preparing the milk and honey. We look at Miss America, we see white. We look at Miss World, we see white. We look at Miss Universe, we see white. Even Tarzan, the king of the jungle in back Africa, he's white.
What can it be? Whoa, whoa, be. What can it be? Oh, that's holding me. What can it be? That's holding me from getting free. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do you know?
She had an afro, which of course was the statement that she made physically. And Robin talked about the movement. Robin talked about black politics. Robin was not the traditional homecoming queen candidate. I remember very much the evening when the homecoming queen was crowned. The lights went down, the candidates went back, then you heard the curtains open, and you heard the crank of the revolving stage begin. And as the stage revolved and turned around toward the audience, the lights began to come up at the same time. Well, before you saw Robin, you saw the way that the lights cast a silhouette on the curtains, and you saw the silhouette of her afro before you saw her. Well, the auditorium exploded, and everybody exploded. It was a wonderful moment. People started jumping up and screaming, and some were raising their fists. Then spontaneously a chant began. The chant was Umgawa, Black Power, Umgawa, Black Power. And a chain was created up. People started to march to it, to the rhythm of Umgawa, Black Power. And there was a line that went all the way around the auditorium, and more people joined the line. I did too, as it went around the auditorium, and finally out the door and into the streets of Washington, D.C., past the campus, and still chanting Umgawa, Black Power. And that was really the launching of that movement at Howard.
It's all right, they don't want to hear about it. They got one book, they're reading from a goddamn book anyway. So what makes this book the only book? They don't even know where this book came from. Do you know, you good Christians out there looking at this, to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, where you think this book came from? You think God reached down with a hand and started writing on some paper because some mass put up a piece of parchment? You really believe that crap? Then you need to be enslaved. You need to be a slave.
It's not a fucking book. It's a weapon. A weapon aimed right at the hearts and minds of the weak and the desperate. It will give us control of it. If we want to rule more than one small fucking town, we have to have it. People will come from all over. They do exactly what I tell them if the words are from the book. It's happened before. And it'll happen again. All we need is that book.
This country knows what power is, knows it very well, and it knows what black power is because it's deprived black people of it for 400 years. We are on the move for our liberation. We have been tired of trying to prove things to white people. We are tired of trying to explain to white people that we're not going to hurt them. We are concerned with getting the things we want, the things that we have to be able to function.
When Fela began to preach a return to traditional religion, it was in search of a deeper African identity. It was a cultural provocation, an intellectual move. But in the spring of 1981, the spirits really visited Fela's house. Since this revelation, a dialogue with the other world takes place every day. At the shrine, around 2 in the morning, right in the middle of the show, Fela suddenly asks for silence and performs a rite on behalf of the main Yoruba spirits, Shango, Ogun, Ifa. The same great spirits that are found in America, in voodoo, in Afro-Cuban and Brazilian cults.
You were asked, what skin color do you want? Do you remember which one you said?
Yeah, that one.
Which one?
This one.
Why do you want that skin color?
Because I don't know. I don't know.
Not sure?
No.
What do you think of that skin color?
Well, it looks kind of whitish, and that's all I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? Why do you want that skin color?
Because it looks lighter than this kind, because this looks a lot like that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I just don't like the way brown looks, because the way brown looks really nasty for some reason, but I don't know what reason.
Do you know people that use bleaching products?
Yeah, you see it on the street. I've got some friends that do use that.
Is it better to be lighter? Or?
Yeah, it's better to be lighter, to be
Really?
beautiful. Yeah, everybody want to look beautiful.
It's better to lighten your skin.
How light?
Oh, who would I like to look like?
In terms of skin colour?
Beyonce.
Skin lightening is becoming big business in the UK. The range and availability of products is increasing all the time. You've got your Fair and White Maxi Light
Fair and White products.
A lightening cream,
Hydrating lightening lotion.
So White
Exfoliating lightening soap.
Lightening Body Milk,
White Supreme.
X White Plus,
Leg fade.
Leg Fade,
Skin White lightening exfoliating soap.
Lightening Cream,
Lightening.